talk a little Guards. Guys, the Guardians are in Arizona. Pitchers and catchers. The full team is now reported. And Stephen Vogt delivered his speech, we'll call it, yesterday. And our guy Zach, who we just mentioned, put this out there. Zach said, Stephen Vogt delivered his annual speech to the Guardians ahead of their first full squad workout. His message, quote, "We're here for one thing, and that's to win a World Series."
By the way, I quote retweeted this yesterday and said, too bad they didn't spend any money to make the team any better. And there were a couple of big Guardians fans who were pissed at me for saying that.
Why?
Because the Guardians, because of their success, have convinced the percentage of the fan base that spending money is not necessary, which is crazy. They're trying to argue. This is their philosophy. Their philosophy is to spend no money. That's not their philosophy.
Yeah.
That's the owner saying we can't spend money. He said, well, you got to give Antonelli the benefit of the doubt. You don't think Antonelli would want to be able to spend money?
Of course.
Of course he would. Are you crazy? We all know that the Guardians front office, overall in their tenure here, has done a way more good than bad. They get benefit of the doubt on the pitching, certainly. I was frustrated, and I said they should be fired last year, and maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know. But they have failed to develop hitting, and that's frustrating. And so I wanted them to spend some money or make a trade. They didn't do anything. They literally did nothing for the offense. The only money they spent on offense was to re-sign the worst hitter in baseball, Austin Hedges. And I'm not exaggerating. He is the worst hitter
and Nolan
in baseball.
Jones. They brought Nolan Jones back. He wasn't much better.
He was here. He was already here.
Yeah, but didn't they
the
give
year
him,
before they acquired him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, didn't he have to give him a new deal, or was he still?
No. He's still on his rookie. He's still.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess.
So no, the only money they spent was the $4 million on Hedges. They spent $5 million on a relief pitcher, and then like $1 million on two other relief pitchers.
And Clase's money's coming off the books, you would think.
And Ortiz, not that that's a lot, but
Clase's is.
It's not that much.
I mean, it's a chunk. I'm just saying. I'm to your point. I'm saying
they have the 29th payroll as of now in baseball. Only the Marlins have a lower payroll.
I thought they had the lowest. I'm surprised.
I think the Marlins are a little lower. So nobody's asking them to have a top 10 payroll. It's not unreasonable to ask them to have a middle of the pack or even around 20 on payroll, which they've been many times. In fact, 30 years ago, they were top 5 payroll. And so I was just so frustrated. I couldn't believe these fans were like attacking me as if I was an idiot for saying the Guardians should spend money. It's just crazy. There's still 2 free agent hitters that I like out there, and Rhys Hoskins and Tommy Pham, that I think could both help this team.
I don't know that Pham would fit well in this clubhouse.
Pham's a great guy. What are you talking about? Great guy. Great reputation. What are you talking about?
I think he's a little prickly.
Yeah.
Is he the one that slapped a guy over fantasy football?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Who hasn't been slapped over fantasy football?
People have made a thing about that. Anybody in baseball knows Tommy Pham's a great locker room guy. He pushes his teammates. Guys love him wherever he's been.
I think I'd get behind Rhys Hoskins more. But regardless, it's ridiculous where the payroll is.
Yeah.
They could have used you can sign a veteran hitter and still find plenty of at-bats for George Valera and Chase DeLauder
100%.
and all of these guys. What you've done is you have no margin for error now because you're counting on guys who have been hurt their entire careers to now magically stay healthy, and they were unproven in the majors. So, of course, you can...
You have 3 proven players, and that's including Manzardo, who's done it for 1 year, out of 9 spots. 3. That's it. You have Kwan, Ramirez, Manzardo. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else is proven. So you're telling me where they have 6 spots with unproven players that the Guardians are the one team that had to save 6 spots for unproven players? That's crazy.
No. I mean, I know the organizations, the logic and the thinking has been if we sign somebody, they have to be significantly better. We don't want to block the progress of young guys.
Well, I mean,
but I know. I'm with you. There should be room in this payroll to add 1 significant middle of the order bat, and there's still plenty of spots to go around for the young guys.
Of all these guys that they've been up, Bo Naylor, Valera, Kafis, DeLauder, Schneeman, Arias, Rocchio. DeLauder at this point is the only one who's a top-notch prospect. None of those other guys are short things.
Yeah.
I know Valera was at one point, but...
I mean, how would Bo Bichette look in this lineup at shortstop?
Great.
And stop with the nonsense of trying to decide between Arias and Rocchio.
Yeah.
You could get rid of both of them. There's one. Just sign Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
He got massive money, but there's room in the payroll.
Of course there is. They're paying nobody besides Jose. Nobody is making any money.
And you're not blocking the path of anyone. You're not blocking Travis Bazzana.
No.
You're like, the man. I just drew a blank. The first baseman. Who's the first baseman? Alonso. Pete Alonso.
Oh, Pete Alonso.
Sign Pete Alonso.
Right.
And trade CJ Kafis. That's what most major league teams do.
Right.
Pete Alonso and Kyle Manzardo can man
I
first base.
CJ Kafis,
You can trade
but
CJ
he's not
Kafis.
a top-notch prospect.
No.
He might be a nice player. You don't want to block Chase DeLauder, fine, even though he's injury-prone. He's your best prospect, fine. You don't want to block Bazzana, fine. The other guys, they're not short things. We've seen Naylor, Rocchio, Arias. They've done essentially nothing for 3 years. They're below average major league players. Now, baseball, some guys take longer to develop. Doesn't mean they can't, but you can't expect 6 guys to develop.
Yeah.
And the pitching is good enough to win with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the offense is not. So the question is, can the Guardians win a World Series with their current roster? I mean, I guess, but
I wouldn't pick them in my top 5, 6,
Not even
7,
top 10.
8.
they wouldn't
I
be
don't
my
know.
top
I have
10.
to go through the list. But
All right, here's 10 teams I would pick over the Guardians to win the World
Dodgers.
Series. In the National League, we'll start with the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Phillies, the
Padres,
the Brewers, the Mets. I'd take all those teams. Did I say the Phillies?
Yeah.
All those teams.
So where are you at, 5, 6?
I think that's 6, yeah. In the American League, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, frankly, are better on paper. I know what happened at the end of last year.
I mean, Skubal and Fromber at the top is pretty good.
And they brought back Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
He still can win some big games for you. That's 8 right. That's 9 right there. And then who am I forgetting in the West?
I mean, Oakland.
Oh, the
Texas.
Mariners.
Oh, the Mariners for sure.
That's 10.
Yeah.
That's 10 right there. And then, I guess you can make a case for the Guardians over a couple of those teams, but they're so far behind most of those teams offensively.
Yeah.
And they're better than some of them in pitching, but not all of them. Do you think the Guardians can win a World Series?
When you're a bad team, any sport, any level, you can't fix everything in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right? But regardless, you're addressing this was a team that hitting was the batting average was what, the lowest in the league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To not address it at all, it's inexcusable, Bull. It is.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. And it's unfortunate. If 4 young guys put it together this year, they could be a really good team. But what are the odds of that?
I mean, it's not even it's the health more than
right. Well, with DeLauder especially.
Yeah, and
he's
Valera.
your best prospect.
Valera was the top prospect.
He was at one
The
point.
only reason he's not now is because of the injuries.
Right.
He could still hit.
And by the way, if you're not, first of all, DeLauder better be on the roster opening day. Because if you're not going to spend any money, at least put your best prospect in the major leagues.
Is there even a consideration he wouldn't be?
I mean, you never know with them.
Yeah, the contract thing. I wouldn't say it's 100% he's on the roster.
No,
how
it's
can
not.
you?
It should be. And Bazzana better be up by May or June.
This is the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years ago.
I mean, he better hit.
Well, Nick Kurtz, who was the 4th pick in the draft, is already a star.
Yeah, but because he tore the
think they
cover
could
off
use
the ball.
him?
Well, yeah, for sure.
They blew it. I mean, we'll see what Bazzana
see.
is. What are the odds right now? Would you bet he's going to be a better major leaguer than Kurtz? I wouldn't.
I mean, I think Kurtz is probably going to come back a little bit. I think he's really good. He's really, really good.
We'll see.
But I don't know that he's going to be Albert Pujols. Maybe he is.
I don't know.
Maybe he is.
We'll
but
see.
but Bazzana he was hurt so much last year. It's not a matter of he better be up by May. Well, he better be hitting by May. He better get off to a good start.
I mean, when he's been hitting, he's been good, not special in the minors.
Yeah.
He's already. They got him. MLB.com has him as like the 50th best prospect in baseball right now.
Is he that low? I thought he was in the teens.
You want to
to
double
20s.
check that, Mike?
Bazzana?
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he's that low.
I thought he was in the 50s.
I thought he was in the teens to 20s.
According to MLB.com, which is that a decent
Top
list to go
100.
off?
Yeah,
Prospects.
MLB.com.
Top 100
Top 100,
prospects.
Travis Bazzana is number 20.
Yeah.
What year is this? 26, it says?
Yeah, 26.
All right, go
Goes-
look. Maybe it was Baseball America that had him 50. I don't,
I'll just give you real quick. And
Yeah.
the only reason I'm looking is I remember when they were going through the draft. Remember J.J. Weatherholt was a guy
Yep.
who was
he's going to
considered-
start the
He's
season
going
in the
to
majors, probably.
He'll play second base for the Cardinals this
He's
year.
the
Shortstop.
number 5
Oh,
prospect
he's
in
playing
baseball.
second, eh?
So
think
he's
he's
already
playing
number
second.
5.
Yeah.
Was Max Clark in that draft?
No.
No, but he's a top prospect.
It was Weatherholt. It was Castaglio.
Caglione.
I always-
He was in the big leagues last year, did not play
Yeah.
well. He struggled.
Kurtz, Bazzana.
Those were the top 4 picks.
Well, those guys aren't considered. Yeah, DeLauder's number 46. I'll tell you the Guardians.
Chase Burns
real
went
quick.
second, right? The pitcher.
Oh, yeah, and Burns. Those are the top 5. He's in the big
Yeah,
leagues,
the
too.
Guardians have 6 guys in the top 100. Bazzana's 20. DeLauder 46.
Bazzana's
Angel
ahead of DeLauder?
Oh,
by
yeah.
26 spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Angel Ganeo. I believe I pronounced that right.
I don't know how to
Maybe.
pronounce
I've
his name.
never figured that one
Yeah.
out. Jano or I don't know.
You know,
We'll figure it out
he's
when he
number
gets
66. My guy Ralphie Velasquez 89, Parker Messick 95, and Cooper Engel 99.
Yeah, well, Nick Kurtz is already a good major leaguer, so.
here. Yeah. I mean, Kurtz, he's one of the top first basemen in the American League now already. And Bazzana hasn't even cracked yet. But I don't know. If Travis gets off to a good start, I would hope that he's here by Memorial Day or around then.
Fangraphs has Chase DeLauder as their number 1 prospect and Bazzana as their 4th best prospect.
Who's in between the two?
Velasquez and Janau.
So it's really just it's up to the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Anyway, it's frustrating. And listen, the Guardians are a good organization overall. We know this. They have great stability.
They're phenomenal.
They've had a good front office. They've had 2 managers in the last 15, 14 years, whatever. Francona was awesome, and so far Vogt's done a great job.
2-time manager of the year.
Right, he is. He is. But you got the ownership has got to be able to help. And he's going to talk supposedly, and we'll get some bogus reasons.
We'll see
why they didn't spend any money. I don't know. I'll feel better if they sign Rhys Hoskins this week. I'll feel a little better.
They're normally good for one sort of. In the past, they've always gotten that guy that falls through the cracks.
But it
was Kevin Millwood back 10, 15
I know,
years
but
ago.
in recent years when they have gone into free agency, it's been bad.
Yeah.
But Hoskins has been one of the most consistent players. Like last year he missed some time due to injury. When he's been healthy, which is almost every year besides last year, he always hits 25 home runs.
That would look good in this lineup.
I mean, he could be their second, at worst, third top home run hitter.
Yeah.
But no, you got to play C.J. Kafis. I mean, I don't know. I think it's okay to block a couple of guys, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
And then if they do prove they can stay healthy and they are ready,
Yeah.
you can trade them. Trade
Exactly.
whoever you sign.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
I got one more Guardians question.
Yeah.
'Cause we already stressed that you don't believe they could win as currently constructed.
I didn't say that.
Oh, so you do believe
I
if
think
everything
they-
breaks
I
right,
think-
they could?
They'd be on the lower end of teams that could win a World Series, but I wouldn't say 0% chance. No, like if you ask me about the White Sox, I'm going to say there's a 0% chance. They're not, or the Twins. is a 0% chance.
Yeah, I mean it's the Guardians and the Tigers to win the division. I would give the edge to the Tigers.
I
certainly.
would say Tigers, Guardians, Royals, White Sox, Twins. That's my order of finish right now.
But if you get in baseball,
Yeah, in baseball, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But they're behind the 8 ball because their lineup, as constituted at the moment, is significantly behind a lot of the other good teams. But because they play in the worst division in baseball, you still have a chance. But Detroit, adding Valdez and to a lesser degree Verlander, really changed how you look at the Tigers now, because their rotation is way more legit.
I mean they
top
got
to bottom.
Is there in the American League? Is there a better 1-2 punch than Framber and Skubal? Skubal and
How
Framber.
could there be?
I can't think of one.
I mean, Toronto's got
Toronto's got good pitching.
Dylan Cease.
Yeah. Bieber's not in their top anymore.
No, he's hurt.
Yeah, he'll be.
Dylan Cease and Gossman is good, but I mean, Scuba's, you'd have to have like the Pirates because they have Skeens.
Yeah.
Or Boston. I mean, Boston's got Crochet and, but who's their second guy? Is it Sonny Gray, who they got?
My guy, Hunter Dobbins?
No, not Hunter Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in the American League, it's
guy.
the best 2-1-2 pitching punch.
I mean, maybe if Garrett Cole was completely healthy. But there, him and Max Fried, if Cole was completely healthy, you could make an argument. But right now, I mean, I don't think there's a better 1-2 punch in baseball.